It's 2013, you've just come back from a really long day, and you boot up The Last of Us. But the problem is, you've already completed The Last of Us 6 times. So what do? Well, there's nothing to do, right? The original Last of Us and Last of Us Remastered had multiplayer called Factions, and that's what we're going to play today, because the show's out, and why not? Right, I'm not going to beat around the bush. The Last of Us multiplayer is extremely underrated. It is so underrated and it's really good. However, it does have issues. So yeah, stick with me for the next 5-6 minutes, whatever it is. So yeah, let's just relax, man. Sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, drink some tea. So what exactly is The Last of Us multiplayer? So there are 3 game modes: Survivors, Supply Raid, and Interrogation. Supply Raid is like Team Deathmatch. You have to go and collect loads of different supplies, you have to kill enemies, and you basically have to wipe them out. There's 20 lives on each team. Whoever kills 20 people wins, you know? That's simple. Very easy, very nice. Survivors is a bit different. You have 2 teams, 2 teams of 4. So it's 4v4, 8 players in total, and that is basically search and destroy, just without the bombs. So you have to kill each other, and you only get 1 life, so you don't respawn until the next round. That's probably my favorite game mode, trust me, the intensity is really good. And Interrogation is basically Supply Raid, except you have to interrogate enemy teams when you down them in order to find something called a lockbox that you have to open to win the game. Those are your 3 game modes. That's it. There's nothing else to it. There are no other game modes. That's it. Yes, I know. Wow, that's really bare bones, isn't it? But trust me, the fact people are still playing it to this day with just these 3 game modes should tell you how unique of an experience The Last of Us multiplayer really offers. So yeah, you don't get many game modes, but you also get a lot of customization. But we'll talk about the negatives of that. I think you guys already know where I'm going. Naughty Dog is not immune to microtransactions apparently, so we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, you get loads of customization. You can change your hats, you can change your outfits, you can change your emblem. Remember when you could do your emblems in like Call of Duty and everything? You could do that in The Last of Us. So that's pretty cool. My emblem was from like 2015 when I made this crappy yellow one. I couldn't be asked to change it, but man, it's cool. You can make your own emblems. You can make your own clans. I miss that shit. Now, along with the 3 game modes I mentioned as well as the customization, there's also this like mini, I don't really know what to call it, but basically you have a camp. You don't have an actual camp, it's just a user interface, but every time you go into a game, you have to get a certain amount of supplies, and if you don't do that, you'll come back out of the lobby, and your camp will have people that are hungry or people that are dying, and things like that, and you have to micromanage that. That adds another layer of complexity to it. It's not really complex, but it adds another layer of intensity to your games, okay? Especially if you somehow care about your camp, but that's all in your head. I'd recommend a therapist. In order to get more supplies in games, you can do challenges, and you actually unlock challenges after you win games or beat games or whatever. And these challenges offer multipliers if you do them correctly. So, for example, you could get a challenge where you need to get 15 downs in 5 games, or whatever it is, 3 games, 5 games. And if you do all that, you're guaranteed to save a decent chunk of your camp, and you're guaranteed to get more survivors. Which adds just another element to the multiplayer, which keeps longevity going. The challenges can get really boring after a while. There's no real reason to keep everyone doing them, basically, after this long. It's been out for over a decade, you know, so... You know, those challenges are going to get boring pretty quick if you do plan to play this for the first time. Okay, so that's all the basic stuff out of the way. That's like customization. You actually have loadouts as well. You have loadouts, this is important to talk about. With a bunch of different weapons, you can customize your weapons, you can customize your perks. Not customize, but you can choose which perks you want to use. They have a limit. You can also have purchasable weapons, so you earn this in-game currency in matches specifically. That resets after every game. You don't buy this in-game currency, but once again, we'll get back to that. And you can unlock powerful weapons like shotguns, assault rifles, you know, the usual stuff, which is really cool to add to it. But I've always been a fan of the bow. I remember in 2013 when I first started playing this and everyone started whooping my ass with a bow, insta-killing me with headshots. I was like, I want that bow. And I got that bow. And then I sucked with that bow. And then I went back to my semi-automatic rifle. But then I went back to the bow. And now I've kept using the bow. It's like a love story, man. It's incredible. It's 10 out of 10 stuff, man. Some weapons are more overpowered than others. I mean, it's just the way it is. The game's been left alone since 2015, I think. I don't think there's been any DLC since. So, you know, with all that being said, it's not a perfect multiplayer game, but my god is it fun. And that's because of the maps. Let's talk about the maps. So there's a lot of maps. Like, I'm pretty sure I haven't played them all. There is, I mean, there's not like 50 maps or whatever. There's like 12 to 13, I think. Don't quote me on that. But each map has very different aesthetics. So you've got one set in the snow, you've got Bill's Town, you've got one set in these like an abandoned museum or something, which is pretty cool. But the problem is a lot of them are just 3-lane maps, so you've got left, right, and middle. Okay, but what they do is they add a lot of verticality to them, and the simplicity of the maps makes it pretty easy for pretty much anyone to hop in and enjoy themselves. But this is the only thing with this multiplayer, is that it clearly was not tacked on, but it was definitely not the priority. So these maps, while pretty average, do the job, and I keep playing them, and I've never bothered. I never see a map when I'm loading into a game and thinking, oh, I hate this map, I don't like this map. Every map is pretty decent, because they play all the same, really, so it's quite fair and balanced. Now, the big issue, really, well, there's two big issues. Let's talk about the one that, you know, the company really can't control, or Naughty Dog anyway, and that's sweaty players. There are still players that are level 999 playing this game, and you will encounter them, and they will whoop your ass. Luckily, the multiplayer is a little bit random. It doesn't work perfectly a lot of the time. You know, there's hit reg issues, there's some camera issues and stuff like that. Not major issues, it won't kill your fun, but it will make taking on these level 999 people a lot easier, okay? Because I've done it. I'm level 36 on a different account. I think the highest level I got to was like 80 ages ago, like, you know, nearly a decade ago now. So you can take them on. You can do it. You just gotta have patience, and you gotta be prepared. But they're still there, they're still a pain in the ass, and they're still gonna troll you if they get a chance, because, you know, they're arrogant, they're assholes. So yeah, if you're one of those players, level 999, I understand you like the game, but, you know, go outside, touch grass, get a job, man. Now, before I talk about the last major issue, I'm going to talk about some little nitpicks just to get my own personal opinion out there, rather than just being, oh, you have loadouts, oh, you have maps, you know, it's kind of boring, isn't it? So let me get my own, like, strong opinions out. Okay, some of the weapons are a pain in the ass and should not be in the game, mainly because of microtransactions. So first off, the crossbow. Crossbow is a weapon that you could shoot someone and they start bleeding out unless they heal themselves. It is the only weapon in the game that could do that. Let me be clear, it is a purchasable, so you have to actually earn to use it in the game, but you also have to pay for it through microtransactions. Yep, microtransactions. And it's the only weapon in the game that makes you bleed and gives you a pretty unfair advantage. That being said, if you're not very good at the game, you're just not going to play well at all. It doesn't matter what weapon you have. But then also you've got weapons like the tactical shotgun, which you also have to pay for, which I weirdly did pay for a couple years back, I think. Why? I don't know. I guess I just got tired of being killed by it. That tactical shotgun, pain in the ass. Just try and run away from them as best as you can. It sucks. And the Deagle, whatever they called it, the Deagle, the CSGO Deagle that they added in through another microtransaction is also a pain in the ass. It's a sidearm and it's OP as fuck, and I don't like it. Unfortunately, The Last of Us multiplayer is riddled with them. Everywhere you look, there's customization items you can't get in the game, there are weapons you can't get in the game, there's different elements. Just, there is a lot that is covered up with microtransactions, which is unfortunate, which is very unfortunate. I'm not defending it at all. I think it's horrible, it shouldn't be in there at all. Especially when it's clearly been, you know, tacked on, this multiplayer. They've done a lot with it, but it's pretty tacked on. It wasn't the main priority, so why there's microtransactions, I don't know. This isn't a free-to-play game. You still have to play. Well, I mean, it's free-to-play now on PlayStation, but when it released, it wasn't free-to-play, so don't get me with that stuff. The microtransactions, they aren't expensive, you know? Like, you're looking at probably £2 for a weapon or something. A lot cheaper than what, you know, Valorant wants you to pay for skins. You know, they want you to pay 40 quid. Skins. No Valorant. So honestly, as bad as it is with Last of Us, it could be a hell of a lot worse. The prices are fair, I think. You know, my stance on it, there shouldn't be any prices on this. If you've paid for the game, then you should get everything in the game. There shouldn't be anything that you can't not use unless it's a DLC map pack. You know, something that takes a few months to make, not a skin or a weapon. That makes the game unfair. And there's a reason I like map packs, is because if you didn't have the map pack, sure, it sucked to not have it and people were playing on those maps, but at least it was fair. At least you were still out getting a fair game. Everyone that you played with didn't have the maps because you were on the normal map, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure a lot of the weapons, you know, you could unlock, if I remember correctly, with most map packs in most games. Anyway, point is, it's not that bad. And The Last of Us multiplayer is really good right now, and I'm seeing a massive uptake in Last of Us remastered players, so it'd be criminal for you guys to ignore the multiplayer. If you haven't played the multiplayer yet, give it a shot. Give it a shot. You may see me on there, classic reviews. Get on there. Come and join me. Come and have a good time and show Naughty Dog what not to do with their factions standalone game. Because I guarantee they're going to put a shit ton of microtransactions in that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. It's a very chilled out video. I wanted to just talk about The Last of Us Remastered multiplayer. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. If you want to see more content like this, smash that like button. Let's go.